Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Unwrap Magical Marketing Success this holiday season. So happy you have joined us. We're about to hit one of the best webinars you'll hear. Making you a huge joy and success this holiday season with your business, helping you grow. And without further ado, I would like to introduce our super awesome partner here in Google. Just make sure I can flip the slide. Nope. And here we go. And you are about to hear an amazing webinar from me, Yael Zlavian. I'm the head of e-commerce here at Taxi, overseeing the entire e-commerce niche. And Sheena Arora, who is our strategic Google partner. Sheena, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Awesome. Well, hello and happy Friday Junior to everybody. Thank you again, like Yael mentioned, for joining this webinar and for learning how we can help you in this holiday season and make sure you're very successful. In today's webinar, we do want to talk about not only some trends that we are seeing in the holiday landscape, but we also want to talk about what all can you do as retailers to make sure that you're successful this year. Awesome. 2018 was a record-breaking year for holiday retail sales. And with strong growth overall, can we move to the previous slide, please? We've particularly seen a great online growth year over year, just almost hitting 850 billion plus last year. For the first time this past holiday season, about 61% of those online purchases were made on a smartphone. And that's something where I want us to pause and take that information. More than half of those purchases are happening on the mobile devices. And even when they're shopping in the store, they're still using digital to help them decide what to buy. Half of all the US retail sales are now digitally impacted. When we think about the customer expectations, with the rise of mobile and the increasingly new surfaces of screens, consumers have really changed the way they shop. Just in the past 2 years, we've seen almost a 3x increase in searches like Open Now, Near Me, Shoe Stores Near Me, etc. And consumers are increasingly expecting their preferences like shipping, billing information to be remembered. And which is why we as retailers need to think about all the personalized offers and promotions based on their purchase history. And that's not an easy challenge to solve. Over and above all of that, they're also expecting a frictionless experience while they're making this purchase. So about 58% of them want promotions based on their purchase history. And as Google, we've always been that place where they're turning to us for advice. When we're thinking about businesses and what we need to focus on, this is just some data we gathered for you from the last 2 years. And these are some mobile searches that are happening. So about a 120% increase in best gifts for, or an 80% increase for best products for, or a 70% for best places to buy so-and-so. These numbers are very significant because consumers are now wanting the best resources and they're turning to Google to know what kind of available products are there that we can get the customer to immediately. And this in turn creates a great opportunity for all small and medium businesses. About 34% of US shoppers are feeling to buy brands that they're familiar with is very important to them. But about 3 in 4 of those will buy a gift from a new retailer. And that is something that's very new, that's extraordinary in this digital landscape because we were always committed to brand loyalty and now that's changing drastically year over year. Let's jump into more about what that means for this year's holiday season. The most direct impact that the retailers will have will be the length. 2019 has now a very shortened holiday shopping period. If you think from Thanksgiving to Christmas days, in 2018, we had about 34 days, and now we just have 28, which means we as retailers, need to think about what kind of strategies can we put in play well in advance, that will be key to our success. When we think about how we can think about the strategy, one thing I want us to pause and think about your business is when that research could be happening. And all of that, you will notice, is that consumers start searching way before you think they'll be specifically searching for your product. So think about someone already going from a very broad keyword. Just let's say I want to buy shoes for my wife, and best shoes for women would then turn into Nike shoes on promotion for Thanksgiving. So there's a long search history, and you will see that a lot of, based on our data, almost half of these consumers are already purchasing holiday gifts by November 13th. That is even way before that holiday cycle that we're thinking about, those 24 days. That's already starting almost a month ahead. So what do you think we should be doing? Now, based on all the data and the trends that we are seeing, there are some things that we should really think about to make the most of the holiday season for your business. Now, when we think about what to do, Google and AdTaxi is a premier partner for us, has really been helping us enable growth for e-commerce in 3 ways. One would be accelerating by helping retailers to compete better. Second would be connecting with shoppers at each and every step of the way. And finally, we'll be talking about driving action by eliminating the friction for shoppers to convert on your website easily. What I'll be doing now is just jumping into each one of these aspects just a little bit. And we want to spend most of the time by thinking about what kind of strategies that could mean or convert into your specific business. So let's talk first about accelerating. We like to think of holidays as a marathon, not as a sprint. And retailers should consistently push and perform along the full journey, and only those will win. Now, this starts with making sure that your product feeds are up to date and are reliable for inquiry. Second, you also want to make sure that you're tailoring these ad campaigns to make sure that you're not just available during the holiday season, but also much before that, when people are making decisions to buy their holiday gifts. And finally, you want to always make sure that you're attracting early shoppers, those who haven't made their mind on who they want to purchase from. And those are the ones who will get you the higher conversions this season. So make sure that you're always on during holidays. You start early during holidays, and you always have up-to-date information on the website, on your data feed, and on your ad campaigns. And all of that gets a little bit technical, and we will get into more details later, and how AdTaxi can probably help you with all of that. Second, when we think about connect, how can you really give the gift of a frictionless experience to the consumers these days who are very impatient and are very demanding of knowing exactly what they want and they need it right then? And speed and simplicity is what matters most at this time. Delivering fast, frictionless experiences not only will improve the consumer experience, it will also improve the retailer experience in the form of increased revenue, increased profitability, and increased conversions. So one, we want to think about how your website forms. Is it very simple? Is it intuitive? Are you making your ad campaigns very easy to comprehend? Are you making yourself found on the digital landscape? And second, we want to think about a very polished, very optimized, very thought through approach. And you as a retailer know your customer best, but we as AdTaxi and Google know how to connect those dots on the digital landscape. Let's think about the third one. We talk about driving action. How can you invest in connecting with shoppers throughout the holiday season? It's a long holiday season, and shoppers are completing the holiday shopping far in advance of the Cyber 5. Just like I was saying, people have already, more than half the people have made their holiday purchases by November 13th. We need to be smart in connecting with shoppers throughout the season by ensuring that we have the right products at the right time with the right promotion for each shopper, and making sure that that value is in the full optimization cycle. So when you look at your historical holiday performance, you want to see what really worked last year and how can you improve that this year. You also want to make sure that you're getting the bang for the buck. by maximizing every single opportunity. And we'll get into details of how that means going into your search query report or checking where your conversions are coming, which product group should you be focusing on, and what profitability really means online for you. Finally, you can utilize smart shopping ads to automate and fully optimize the ad spending. With Smart, what we are trying to do at Google is make sure that you are making any product that you have available just presented to the customer when they're searching for it. And with this new campaign type that AdTaxi can help you with, smart shopping campaigns have known to be 25% more profitable than normal shopping campaigns. Let's jump into what that means in terms of the calendar and how we can use these 3 actions of accelerate, connect, and driving action in this year's retail. So if we just go to 2018, what were the top retail dates? The top retail dates for 2018 were mostly online, and we look at a lot of these online sales, but we also see a mix of online and in-store. This year, we've gone and dug a layer deeper to see which calendar days, because this is also 24 days rather than 36. We want to make sure that these are the days you focus primarily in 2019 to also enhance your budgets, but also make sure you have some promotions running for your online products, for the most profitable products, as well as in-store promotions. Let's go through our final holiday checklist before we jump into the exact plan that we have created for you. So your plan for success is now, we divided that into 3 segments. One would be August. In August, we want to make sure that you're taking heed of all these important retail dates and mapping out a strategy based on what products are working for you. Make sure that you take a look at the calendar slide. Right after this webinar, we will be able to share this with you so that you can take note of what promotions should you be driving well in advance to make sure that you're maximizing your sales. Second would be identifying trends and using the budget to capture potential demand. We have a lot of options like shopping insights, opportunities in merchant centers, and we can also get on optimization audit calls to make sure that we are making the most bang for your buck online by capturing all demand and making sure that the impression share is at the maximum during these days. Finally, developing a robust measurement framework. We want to think about what kind of attribution modeling do we need for you as a retailer. Not everybody who clicks last on, let's go back to our example of somebody finding shoes for women and then finally going to Nike shoes online or Nike shoes promotion. You want to also attribute and know who your consumer was to the ones who were searching for women's shoes rather than putting all the credit for the one who was searching for Nike shoes online. So it's very important to know how the conversions are being driven and what kind of behavior are your customers showing online. And we can do that with a data-driven attribution modeling that we can help you set up so that you have a better understanding of your customer behavior online, which will also reflect in store. Once we are ready for all of that, we also want to set the stage in September. We want to make sure that your data feeds are up to date and are very clean for the upcoming holiday traffic. You want to make sure that you're also having a sales pricing attribution to make sure that once you're having a sale, we know that that's updated in the data feed. Make sure that your prices are also competitive. It is very important to benchmark metrics with competitors, especially during this time, because price point plays a massive role in the retail landscape during the holidays. Third, you can show your products across Google through multiple platforms. We have search, we have YouTube, we have shopping, and we have plenty other platforms that we'll be talking about in the later part of the webinar. We want to make sure that you're making your products present on all of these platforms, which is what makes it very easy for your shoppers to find you and your store by having your presence on each of these platforms, wherever the customer is searching for. And finally, we want to talk about driving sales. October through December, you want to have a crisis response plan. What I mean by that is, in case a customer, an impatient customer, especially during the time of holidays, needs your help, we want to make sure that your contact information is updated, your data feed has the most updated price information, any promotions you have, you're not missing out on those conversions simply by having them in store, but also online. You want to make sure you're bidding to capture your highly converting traffic. This means a lot of real-time changes, and we can do that through ad taxi as well as smart bidding that we support very actively. We want to make sure you're having a daily check-in of your ad campaigns. Which product worked more, which product is getting you more scale versus which product is getting you more profit margin. And it's very important to focus on both of them to make it highly profitable for you this year. And finally, be very top of mind for your high value products. You as a retailer know which product drives the most profit margin for you, and you want to make sure that you have an absolute top impression share for those. We at Google have special scheduling features as well as having an impression share strategy just for that. If you're including special hours on your Google My Business page, if you're extending hours of your stores being open, you want to make sure that is reflecting on the special hours on your Google My Business. All of these small little features will play in such a long span of time, and you will notice that you will have a much more profitable holiday season if you take care of these small little nuances. Yael, I want to pass this over to you to just make sure that we have more details into this holiday campaign.
Yes, thank you so much, Sheena. This was wonderful. And to all of you who have joined us, please make sure to place a question if you have one in the question box. We'll have a little bit of time at the end for some Q&A, as well as check out your email for our follow-up email, and make sure to check the last slide Sheena was talking about with a checklist. It has a lot of good information for you and your business. If this is not exciting, let me tell you that this holiday is going to be one of the biggest e-com holidays we've ever seen. So preparing early is the name of the game. Let's go over some other checklist items, such as preparing your website to be traffic ready. What do I mean by that? Making sure that you have all the tracking code in place, that is for Google and Facebook and some other platforms you're on. Make sure that you have good landing pages with great creative and promotions, pushing the products you want to push this holiday. Going forward, make sure that you have reviewed your past holiday trends, what worked for you, what didn't, especially when you're trying to prepare for your promotions this holiday season. Make sure you plan your promotions around your inventory. Don't push products you know you'll run out of fast. Push products you have plenty of in your inventory. Size up your competition and hone your media mix. Right now is the best time for brand awareness, all the way through November, and then when November comes, retargeting is going to be the name of the game. Enable discovery of your products, easy access via ads and via your website. Personalization, that is for prospecting and retargeting. You want to segment your retargeting lists by products, average order value, frequency, and make sure you have really good content that pertains to these audiences and to these actions so you can beat your competition. Everyone will be advertising online, and you want to make sure you get your prospects' attention with a really great retargeting messaging as well as prospecting. Leverage first-party data and email. Right now is the best time to start collecting all those emails and preparing your retargeting list while we are still away from the season peak and CPMs are still low. Bring your holiday best by platform. Hold on. And looking at the timeline, you can see here that we are going to see some peaks during November and beginning of December. You would want to make sure that you prepare anticipation for your Cyber Monday and Black Friday, not in this order. 50% of the revenue will be made by November 29th, and then 75% of the revenue is made by December 13th. So although we have a very short time span between the two, preparing great creative and promotions that will follow the timeline of these holiday season peaks is a really great idea. And please don't wait for the last minute to do it. This is an actual screenshot from one of our clients. You guys can see that by October 15, our past client had prepared all the holiday campaigns and landing pages and promotions, so he was ready to launch. Then we see a little peak, and it kind of follows along our timeline, November 15 through Cyber Monday, with increasing budgets, and then going to November 28th and December 22nd. You want to maximize your spend to make sure that you are in the game and you can beat those high CPMs. And absolutely don't forget end of season sales. So we can see that not only during the holidays, January is a really great month for holiday promotions and revenue making. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that if you are planning Q1 and Q2 for 2020, 60% of your new clients will come during the holiday season. So those lists and those clients, make sure you monetize them with great promotion going after the holidays. And let's talk a little bit about the promotions. Most appealing promotions to offer. So it looks like 95% really like price discounts. I can. Sorry, we just have. Yep, I can see the screen. Sorry, guys, we have a little technical issue here. Stay with us while we try to resolve this. Okay, let's see if that's going to work. Oh, here we go. Sorry. Here we go. So slide 21. Woohoo, we're back in business. All right, so let's, yep, and here we go. All right, so let's go back. What promotions have worked best in 2018? What can we learn about it going forward? 95% of people have really like price discounts. 75% of people love free shipping. 52% really love free gifts, which means if you buy 2 products, you get a gift, or 3 products, you get a gift, kind of a bundle strategy. 32% love loyalty points, etc. Why choose to buy online and go to store? This will apply to all of you who have hybrid business with a brick and mortar store. 60% of the respondents, and this was pulled from eMarketer from last year, have loved that there are no shipping costs involved when you buy online and you pick up in store. 37 needed it right away, and 36% received a discount. So if you all have a hybrid business, creating local inventory ads and pushing your clientele to buy online and then pick up in store is always a great idea. And in general, when they do visit your store, their average order value tends to get higher and higher. So 30%, the good news is 30% spend more than they wanted, and then 48% stay in budget. Going forward, let's check out the next slide. All right, size up your competition with price benchmarks. So you just want to do a preliminary search to see how are you going to price your product going forward and win the competition with really great pricing. In case you cannot win the competition with really great offers such as free shipping and discounts, bundling is a great idea. Also, sending them to your store if you have a brick and mortar also is a great idea. Pick up free in store. And then if you want to offer a discount by bundling certain purchases, just FYI, it's always great for average order value. All right, filtering through the facts. Let's go faster through this. So again, e-commerce merchant survey looks like during the holiday, 70% increased search and social, 56% bulked up their display budget, 65% used dynamic retargeting ads, etc. As a result, we have seen marketers enjoy an increase and an uptick in their average order value. And do not afraid to increase your budget. When it rains on everyone. You will increase your budget, but you will be increasing your average order value, having multiple transactions from different channels you'll be buying media from. The power of audiences. Let's talk about that. This is my favorite slide. So using first-party targeting, now is the best time to do it. Do not wait for the last minute. Make sure you gather that data, have enough people in your retargeting list, and then also for lookalike modeling, segment your audiences by purchasers, lifetime value, average order value, create lookalike audiences and go after these people. Retargeting and site visitors, segmentation is the name of the game here. Do not treat your prospects in the same way no matter what page they hit. So people who have added to cart, people who have added to cart have a much greater value for you than folks who have just looked at your content, your product. Same with initiated checkout, and then in-market audiences. Do we have the control? Yes, we do. All right. Okay, let's go over this a little bit quicker so we'll have some time for questions. Personalization is a priority made easy. So again, personalization is really going to be the name of the game. How do you optimize your beads? You want to avoid blanket marketing. You want to optimize your beads by certain pages that your clients, your customers visited, to make sure that you differentiate messaging with the client's shopping journey. You want to sound the same, and you want to make sure your funnel is evergreen. Also to avoid high frequency and to have high click-through rates. This is just an example for all of you to look at the site visitor to page and then the dynamic retargeting that takes place once a client has visited your website. Ideal audience development, custom audience plus lookalikes are the highest return on ad spend. That is true. And also when you add lifetime value, best customers, and good messaging that will personalize the ad copy, that's also a great recipe to have. This will be a really great chance to remind you all that you want to make sure you cross-sell and upsell your clients. You have spent money buying media from all these great platforms such as Google. These clients are visiting your website, they're taking some actions, and when they hit their checkout page, you want to cross-sell them and upsell them. By upsell, you can provide another upsell with a similar item, or propose an item that is similar to what they're checking out but is higher in value. By cross-selling, you want to provide another item that will complement the item they already have in their cart, as well as bundling, having them purchase more than one item. Think about it. They are shopping for others. They have certain budget in mind. If you bundle some of their items, they're probably going to use it for other gifting, so one-stop shop, as well as maybe bundling them with a higher priced item, something they'll buy for themselves. We always buy for ourselves when we shop for others, so keep that in mind. Tips by platform. Make sure your load time is on point. I cannot stress enough how important it is for your bounce rate and your website conversion rate. Making sure your load time is not 6, 7, 8, 9 seconds. People have no patience, specifically when we speak about millennials, to wait for huge load times. You want to make sure that none of your pages take a long time to load, and now is the best time to tackle web dev to address those issues. Confirm conversion tracking is in place. Just like I said, Google tracking, Facebook tracking, or any other tracking you want to have by whatever media plan you have for the holidays. Everything is firing. Events are segmented. And then drive consideration as well as retargeting to increase lifetime value. Connect with shopper at each step with great messaging, personal ad copy. Drive action by removing friction. If it takes me time to find a product or load a page, I will probably keep moving on. And then maximize your investment in each platform. So you want to have good budgets for this coming holiday season to stay competitive, but you also want to make sure that you use the entire ad formats and all the great formats that are available for each platform by having enough budget to address all these. So for example, for Google, you want to be on search. If you have an e-commerce website, you want to have some shopping budget as well as budget for YouTube, which we'll touch in just a second. Going forward, talking about search, and Sheena, if you want to, if you have anything else you want to add on, please do. Don't be shy. So you want to review last season for successes when looking about search. Where were your missed opportunities? Increase geo-targeting around shopping areas. You want to set bids in anticipation of increased competition, specifically when seasonal peaks are on. So budget allocation. From past experience and from data, 22% of cures pre-Cyber Week in November, 31% post-Cyber Monday and through Christmas. And then don't forget to have 12% for Christmas through January. January is a really good month for you. Don't forget it. Just like Sheena talked about, consider non-last click attribution model. And if you need some education on the different attribution models, we'll be happy to give you some. Non-last click attribution model allows us to really capture and understand the shopping journey. You want to understand how they move through platforms as well as how they move through devices and tackle all of it. Site link and promotion extensions should be updated. Make sure your URLs match your site links so people won't be bouncing off because they were expecting a certain thing and got to a different page. Bank on shoppers close to your store. as well as bank of those shoppers who didn't have enough time to ship the item on time, and then just retarget them with inventory ads, call them to buy in your store because there's no time for them to wait for their shipping. Have a strong audience strategy. So having retargeting lists, custom intent, and in-market audiences is a really great idea. Enable a branding campaign on Black Friday and Cyber Monday for retargeting as well. And include Black Friday and Cyber Monday holiday search queries. So it's a really great opportunity to cash on those holiday search queries and be on top when people look for best gift or the cheapest item for Black Friday, etc. Just ideas that I had.
Can I just chime in 1 second? So for search, just like Yael mentioned, I feel like last year in the shopping webinar, we also focused on this, and so excited about the search opportunity that comes with shopping. One thing, when we were just talking about the audience strategy, it is so key. It is so key for us to have the remarketing on search enabled for retail. The newest feature that we now have is custom intent, which means you can now build your own audience targeting using custom intent and having your own kind of people who've added to cart but kind of abandoned them. You should be able to target them because that's a very high priority customer that you just lost. So having that always on is such an important thing through October till December. Thanks, Yael, for adding that.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for that note. So to add on to what Sheena just said, increase your impression share on key dates. Don't lose impressions due to budget. Make sure your feed and your inventory is refreshed, and also that you are that you're hitting all these possible required attributes, populating as many as recommended attributes as possible for each product. Great way to beat your competition because a lot of them won't be doing that. Make sure you are optimized. Schedule promotional pricing and highlight your holiday offers with merchant promotions. And then when we are talking about promotion, think about what products you want to push, where is your highest margin, which products are best sellers, and which products have the most fat for you to enjoy during this holidays, and push them through shopping campaigns. Obviously, have priorities to maximize profit. And just like I said, use local inventory ads. Show during the store hours, the day parting, target by in-store pickup location, and then once they are in your store, have really great promotions so they can buy more than one product and increase your average order value. YouTube. So you want to consider a brand list study, a great study to enjoy. It's practically free. We can give you more information after this call. Use TrueView for action ads and shop now. You have about 10 characters to create a call to action when you use those view through TrueView ads. CPA bidding to optimize for website conversion. Make sure Google Ads is linked to your Google My Business page to enable location extension to promote in-store visits if you do have a hybrid business. Target custom intent audiences, those searching for relevant terms on Google. Create similar audience targets off your customer list and retarget your search traffic. That's pretty much it. For Facebook, you want to create holiday themed ads with limited time offers. I'm going to stress scarcity, provide scarcity with not only on Facebook, you can also do it on Google with extensions. But when you do provide a time scarcity ad, you want to make sure that when they click on that ad, they arrive at a page that has a time scarcity. You can do that with plugins available throughout your e-commerce platforms such as Shopify, Magento, and WooCommerce. They all have a close down plugin, normally a free plugin to use. Vertical ad formats for story placements across Facebook and IG, as well as instant experience ads. Those formats are can really come in handy if you have a very long speed time on page. So if you want to take the entire real estate of the screen and you want to combat long speed time loads on your page, using these ads could be a great and quick solution to capture the audience and avoid bounce rates. You want to make your ads shoppable by using catalog ads like collection ads. You can add store locator on Facebook, as well as you can if you have few different locations, you can create a dynamic ad copy in which you will be targeting specific locations and your open hours, native to where your clients are. Worked really great for us in the past, highly recommended. And then retargeting. All the people who have visited your website via Google Ads or other platforms, retarget them with collection or dynamic ads on Facebook and a really great copy. And then after the holiday is done, that's a really great time to keep retargeting them with end of year sales, as well as making sure you are granular with your purchase audiences. So create different audiences for people who have purchased most items from you, or for people who have had the highest average order value. Segment them and present them again with a specific message to capture them and retarget them again. Squeeze that lemon. Here are a few ad examples that you can see on social. Stories, take the entire real estate of the screen. Collection ads, really great for call to action. Carousel ads, and then instant experience, which are kind of like a mini website inside your Facebook. Once a prospect clicks on it, instead of being diverted to your website, they're going to be looking at the entire real estate of the screen with your product catalog, your products, promotions, and call to actions within Facebook, and it happens within less than a second, so very quick. Display native video, connected TV, great for branding. Connected TV is the gift for you to break through the clutter. Run holiday campaigns during prime price spikes. You want to utilize dynamic retargeting ads on display and native. These are great, so have as much retargeting as possible, as well as employ prospecting tactics using audience behavior, lookalikes, etc. You can get really granular, and we encourage you to do so. Quick recap. So, prioritize holiday merchandise and top performers. Understand what do you want to promote, what would you like to sell, what are your goals? Is that revenue? Is it reducing costs per acquisition? Is it getting rid of certain products you have? Now is the best time to think about it. Use YouTube brand list study early to learn about the messaging and promote brand preference for early bird shoppers. And 12% of the entire U.S. adult population is already shopping for their Christmas holiday gifts. You do want to do it as fast as possible. Reach more shoppers no matter where they are in their shopping journey. Flexibility to optimize budget across channels and find the best opportunity for conversions at the most efficient eCPA despite the increased bits and CPM. Use custom audiences and search and social first-party email lists to target the highest converting audiences on search and social. capture conversions using remarketing across displays, social, video, including dynamic retargeting, and employ paid search features that show the most compelling and relevant holiday information, countdown extension, price extension, merchant promotions, and local inventory ads for Google Shopping. Here are a few great winning partnership awards that we have enjoyed in the last year. So we are a premier Google partner and one of the 6 Facebook marketing partners in the nation, Snapchat certified agency. And if you have enjoyed listening to this webinar and learned a thing or two, we would like to invite you to email us and ask us to create a free Google AdWords, Facebook, or Bing audit. You can monetize on the data we'll find and the strategies we'll build for you. The link will be included in the follow-up email. And I'm going to go ahead and open our Q&A. Let's see if we have any questions. So, and again, just to reiterate what I just said, if you are stressing about the holidays, don't. But you do want to start now to get help so we can take that stress away from you. Let me see if we have any questions. All right. All right. First question is, how do you see the shorter time between Thanksgiving and Christmas affecting sales? Sheena, do you want to take that away?
Sure thing. And yeah, thank you so much for such an insight into each of those platforms and things that retailers should be thinking about. It was definitely very in-depth, and I can't stress enough on how those audits can help you just to be more holiday ready and to make sure that you're holiday proofing your accounts and making sure that this is profitable. Yeah, to your question about the shorter time between Thanksgiving and Christmas, we have usually seen a consistent time gap between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So this year is going to be a learning for all of us. But here at Google, we have been thinking about what kind of strategies should retailers be thinking about, given that we are kind of reducing it by almost 8 days. We definitely need to ensure that there is an advanced strategy that we are improvising almost every day. When you want to maximize your sales and conversions, this window is going to be very critical. But what is also going to be very critical is the time before this window. Because people don't have a lot of time, and think about it from your consumer's point of view, there is barely any time between Thanksgiving and Christmas now. And that would mean people would want to get done with Christmas shopping before Thanksgiving and want to get both of them done before that November 28th last weekend. So just like going back to that fact that I shared earlier, was more than almost 50% of people have already made their purchases by November 13th. So my short and sweet answer would be, make sure you're ready through October, November for December. My long answer would be, there are so many more tips by platform that we haven't shared that couldn't fit on the slide. So make sure you have that audit with us so we can make sure that, one, you're budget proofing it, you're bid proofing it, but you're also making sure your promotions are in front of the eyeballs that will purchase and convert.
Awesome. That's a really great answer. I like that. Another question we have is, what can marketers do to boost engagement and get ahead of the shortened season? Sheena, I'm going to go ahead and answer that, and if you want to add something to it, go ahead.
Awesome.
You as an advertiser, the best way to go about this is to ensure that you segment your funnel and you segment your messaging. That's going to get you ahead of the curve, because everyone will be advertising. Everyone will try to beat the high CPM, but having a retargeting list and having a specific message that sells your brand and not necessarily your product, and with a great promotion, will get you ahead of the curve. It will boost engagement. People want to be feel like you care about them, and you know exactly what they need, what they want. You know their pain points, and your ad copy should be talking about it. That's pretty much it. Sheena, do you want to add anything to it?
Yeah, just one thing in addition to that is just making sure you have a full view of your funnel, which means people who are just not just purchase consideration. So think about not just people who are ready to buy right now, but people who might be aware of what they want. We also want to strap those, because being it's going to be a competitive, retail is anyway a very competitive space, and especially during holiday, it becomes even more competitive. So what we want to be sure of is that we are thinking 2 steps ahead and going to the higher funnels before we go to the lower funnels as well. So that should be reflected not just in your ad copies, but also in the kind of keywords you should have. I keep going back to my shoe example, and I should come up with a new one, but having women's shoes in your keywords might mean it's expensive, but that's also because there's so much competition for it. Knowing if that is converting through that non-last click attribution will be very key for your success before you start bidding heavily on Nike shoes. Does that make sense?
That is awesome. Absolutely great example. I like it that you keep going back to the shoe example to make it consistent. Another question that we have here is, if time and budget are a factor, which strategy would you suggest for small businesses to get the most of their money?
I can actually chime in for one thing, and then Yael, please carry on, because I'm sure you've seen a lot of that before. One thing I would want to say is we believe in the time, if you think about the transition from traditional media to digital media, seeing the consumption, seeing the amount of sales that are now driven by digital. Earlier, if you spend like thousands and thousands of dollars on your billboards or your TV commercials, you don't necessarily understand the return on investment, which is why digital advertising is key, and it should still be complementary of your other advertising tactics. But we want to make sure that every dollar you spend is worth some business for you. And how we can do that is by managing not just accounts, but also timing of which promotion or which campaign should be on at what time, and what kind of promotions are driving profitability for you. So while you have all that data, unless we put that in action, we might not be able to make the most of the holidays. So if you are on a time and a budget crunch, I would say, one, you need somebody to manage those campaigns. Second, you want to make sure that you're providing them with as much information as possible so they utilize and channel that budget to get you the most out of that buck.
I love this answer. I think you're spot on it. As well as to add to what you just said, despite the budget, quantifying some numbers ahead of time and making sure that you are spreading your budget across the platforms your client is on while they take their journey is a really great idea. Here at SXC, we are an omni-channel partner, strategic partner. Looking at your account, we can tell you exactly how and where you should be spending your money. So again, take advantage of our free audit. I will highly recommend doing that. Another question that we have here is, what are the biggest mistakes e-com advertisers make during the holidays? And Sheena, if you don't mind, I'll take that. I seen a lot of e-com owners wait for the last minute to start with their strategies. Don't do that. Don't wait for the last minute. Make sure that you are ready for the holiday. You are ready for the holiday season. You know your budget. You know your creative. You know your promotions. Do not wait for the last minute, because that's where inefficiency happens and a lot of wasted spend, which we want to avoid. So that's going to be my take on what mistakes e-com owners make during holidays. And then to the last question here, what are your opinion on connected TV, video advertising, OTT? Well, just in short, because we have to wrap up, OTT or connected TV is great, especially for the holiday season, because there's still less competition there. So take advantage of it before it becomes saturated. It's a really great place to be, especially if you have good creative and good products. We would recommend a full funnel video strategy across RTB and YouTube. And we're going to make sure that they all talk to each other. Since we are doing fulfillment in-house for all these platforms, we want to make sure that all these efforts are paying off and they are not in a void, having one strategic partner fulfill these platforms for you. With that, I'm going to go ahead and sum up. And again, thank you so much, Ina, for joining and contributing with great information straight from Google. You guys will receive a link. Please submit your website. We'll throw a free audit at you. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season and you will reach your goals and your KPIs. If you're still scratching your head and you don't know how to get there, please reach out. We have lots and lots of success stories during the holidays. We'll be happy to share some with you, as well as some strategies that will work for you, building a custom solution for your business. I want to thank you all and have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much for having me, and I hope this was useful for everybody joining. Thank you.